Very good evening to everybody, and thanks for clicking on to the Monday edition of Vogan's European Outlook. It is the 3rd of November. I will leave a link in the description below for the weekend content just gone. It was another great weekend here on the channel. A decent 25-minute video discussing the tropics, what's potentially beyond Hurricane Melissa, and then obviously I did the live stream as usual at 4 p.m. yesterday, looking in depth at the impact, some amazing footage that was shown and discussed from Melissa's impacts in particularly Jamaica. So do check that out, and like I say, I will leave a link in the description below. It has been a fairly wet overall weekend just gone. Beginning of the week, we've got the remnants of Melissa now to our northwest. That is drawn up a very mild and moist flow with embedded systems riding at the southwest to northeasterly flow. So therefore, west and southwestern facing areas will see the lion's share of moisture through the next week to 10 days or so here. Perhaps looking a little bit drier towards the Saturday time frame coming up. But you can see here, this is the past 72 hours according to MeteoSail in terms of the rainfall totals. Looking at the current temperatures then, and even at this hour, we're talking about temperatures generally in the teens. We're knocking the door of, in fact, we're 16 Celsius at Kinloss on the Murray Coast, thanks to southwesterly flow. A little bit of downslope always helps jack up the temperature in this part of the world. But 11, 12, 13 Celsius quite widely. Moving into the central belt, 15, 16 Celsius as well. And then as we progress through England and Wales, we're generally in that kind of mid-teen range. Likewise for Ireland and Northern Ireland. Looking at the continent as a whole, not a huge amount of cold air around. We've got a little bit of chill up across Scandinavia, but you have to get well into Russia to see any decent warmth, or cold, should I say, not warmth, cold. A little bit of cooler air, I suppose, across central areas of Europe here, especially over the Alps, for example, of Switzerland, Austria, northern Italy, for example. We're seeing some chillier air, I suppose, but we do have a frontal system moving eastwards that's going to provide some outbreaks of rain, but also heavy snowfall at elevation. In terms of the latest radar imagery then here, this is looking at the UK and Ireland. Got quite a lot of moisture getting driven northeastwards, and this is going to be a story over the course of this week. Looking at the total accumulated precipitation off the ECMWF, you can see here as we play through this loop, you can see the moisture building up in west-facing areas of pretty much all of Western Europe, UK, Ireland, but Iberia, in the supposed parts of France, but also across Norway also. So the moisture is going to build up. This is all the way out to the middle, even edging into the second half of November, and it's very much driven by a kind of westerly component to the airflow, and that was indeed highlighted here on this channel since last week. Look at the moisture also down across parts of the Balkan region. You need to keep an eye on that. In terms of the 850 anomaly here, so these are the temperatures at 850 compared to average. And if we pan out a little bit here, there is some interesting model output with regards to the middle portions of the month. There's something a bit colder. But certainly, over the next few days, look at these anomalies here as an area of low pressure is positioned to the west of both UK and Ireland here. To the east of that, it's drawn up some very, very mild air indeed across the central areas of Europe, but also including the UK and Ireland in that. This is Wednesday and Thursday of next week here. We're talking about anomalies here at 850 millibars of plus 10, even plus 10, 12 Celsius above average. What's quite interesting here is as we move towards the weekend, you can see here and then into next week, this is obviously a long way out. I have to, take this with a pinch of salt, of course. But, we're going to discuss the record strong negative Indian Ocean dipole, the eastward progress of the Mann-Julian oscillation. But, perhaps with that, the phase 6 of the MJO, that may be showing up as a response. Now, we do have this battle here. Again, we're talking about Friday the 14th of November, so that's a week on Friday. Long way away here. But look at how warm the air is up across Greenland. Also, look at how warm it is to the east of this low between the Azores and Iberia. Very warm air, but we're equally seeing an area of low pressure just off the northwest coast of Norway, dragging in something colder from the north. So we've got an area of high pressure, to the west-northwest of the UK. We've got an area of low pressure over Scandinavia. Obviously, with that, the orientation of the ridge and trough, you have a north flow coming in. But if we continue to play through this, you can see here quite the battle here between colder air over the UK and Ireland, much warmer than average air across the south of France, for example. So there's going to be quite a battle, so to speak, showing up here. But this is certainly an interesting look when you look at the high pressure to the west and with lower pressure to the east. We're pulling in considerably colder than average air. So look at this here from Monday the 17th, and this has been highlighted here of a possible change around into the second half of the month. So obviously it's all to play for. This may not happen. Certainly what we do know is we're going to see a very mild week this week and into the weekend, and then we'll continue to monitor this situation going forward. But yeah, like I say, I will discuss MJO, the influence of the strong negative Indian Ocean dipole on the longer term pattern. We'll look at the polar vortex and whatnot further down the road as well here. So this is a little bit of a shorter and sweeter video. This is the upcoming 7 days according to the CFSV2. Very, very warm compared to average across Europe. But let's just watch this space. Interesting times. Keep it right here in the channel, like and subscribe, and I'll see you tomorrow with more. Bye for now.